Amazon. Play Say So by Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj.
It's the remix.
Hi. Hi guys, welcome to my science channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how human independence on world oceans. But specifically, we're going to be talking about how we're affecting it and how, because we're affecting it, we have to, all the resources that we depend on are depleting, and so yeah, let's get started. One thing I'd like to start off with is first I'd like to start off with how this affects me. You know, I probably won't live long enough for this stuff to eventually affect me, but us polluting our oceans and oil spills and over consuming ocean animals and destroying reefs has so many devastating effects on not only us but our earth, our planet, and everyone around us. And to think that we're too far along and that we can't reverse the process is just ignorant. So if you do think that, I would just not think that anymore. There's a lot of things we're going to be talking about today. Some keywords I would like to display are reduce, reuse, recycle, the 3 R's, carbon footprint, overproduction, pollution, and microplastics. Yeah, that's pretty much the general of what I'm going to be talking about today. So humans depend on the ocean naturally, without or any type of body of water, but we are modifying almost everything in many ways, including runoff, artificial reefs, or even use of its resources, or overproduction of its resources. What I mean by overproduction of its resources is we're taking too much more than we're needed. Like, you know how we have meat with every dinner. Traditionally, meat is only supposed to be like a one meal thing. It's not supposed to be with lunch and breakfast and that kind of stuff. So when we have meat with every single meal, meat companies have to overproduce, and they're taking too many fish, and then fish don't have enough time to reproduce before fishermen come back, and then eventually you know, they're almost gone entirely from that area because of fishermen. But we can slow down the process of this and eventually reverse the things we have done to it. Every once in a while, you see stuff on the news about how we're destroying the oceans and everything that lives in it. Most commonly, it's like oil spills, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't remember seeing anything more than that. I have previous extensive knowledge on this topic because I don't know, I've grown up around the ocean. I've probably been learning about it since the day I was born. I was always swimming and we were always at the beach. You know, the ocean is something we've all been learning about and since we were in like pre-K. You know, like learning about dolphins and just rain. Not rain, but rain isn't part of the ocean. The ocean has been a big part of my life and I want to help save it because it's been a big part of my life. I love it so much and I would love to teach my peers how to save it. Anyways, on to my main topic. I will be mostly talking about the Great Garbage Patch of the Pacific. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Basically, it's a very dense population of pollution in the northern Pacific Ocean. But the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is not the only garbage patch. Garbage patch is really just a nickname. It's not that. The garbage patch isn't very accurate for what it's saying. There's about 3 at the moment. There's one in the Pacific Ocean. Well, there's 2 in the Pacific Ocean. There's one in the north, and then there's one in the south. And then there's one in the Indian Ocean. These are just the main garbage patches. There are lots more forming around the world in places like China, and in places like China, it's not as dense as it is in the North Pacific. It's really just scattered everywhere.
Subject redirection.
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is the collection of marine debris in the North Pacific Ocean, also known as the Pacific Trash Vortex. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is actually 2 masses of debris bounded by the massive subtropical gyre. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch sits near the surface of the ocean. Dense debris can sink centimeters or even meters beneath the ocean, making it impossible to measure. In the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, there are many different types of trash, but a big population of microplastics. Microplastics take up most of the population of debris for many reasons. The reason this is bad is because plastic is not biodegradable, meaning it does not decompose or disintegrate. Over time, it can simply breaks down into tinier pieces, and that's what is known as microplastics. It can make the water look very cloudy, and because, well, this is stuff that's already decomposed, meaning, or it doesn't decompose, it doesn't disintegrate, it doesn't go away. Here is an example of what microplastics look like. It makes so that marine life can't breathe because they breathe in the water. So microplastics are going into their lungs and eventually killing them. And this stuff there might be microplastics now, but that means that that plastic has been around for a really long time, and it's never going to go away because plastic doesn't disintegrate. Eventually we won't be able to see it, but it's still going to be there, and it's just going to be polluted forever because we don't know it's there. But yeah. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is also mixed with many other marine life, or plastics in all shapes and forms. You can find boots, you can find water bottles, anything, everything's in there that's plastic. Not even just plastic, like paper, all that stuff. Most plastics are refused from land activities in North America and Asia. Something that happens very often is plastics and other things such as oil being spilled from large vessels. The images you're seeing right now are all from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, or this one is a picture of all of the garbage patches. Downside to this is that marine debris can prevent algae because it's so dense on the ocean surface. Plankton, the photosynthetic producers of the food web, enough sunlight, therefore they don't have enough nutrients to survive. When these organisms are threatened, the entire food web is at stake. The garbage patch devastates almost all of marine life in the North Pacific. In the subtropical Gary, some examples of marine life being hurt are turtles, dolphins, birds, really anything, fish. Yeah, I'm gonna show you pictures of that. These are animals that have been affected by overpollution of the ocean. As you can see, this turtle is stuck in pollution or the net, and so is this seal. Watching my science channel. See you again next time.